We are almost finished with this bathroom remodel, but need to add a towel bar. I've been dragging my feet on this because I hate drilling into tile. But since I'm doing it, I figured I would show you my process. The first thing I like to do is just get everything unwrapped and laid out so that I can see exactly what I'm working with. It's also important to check that there's no damage before you start installing it. I personally don't like using these templates, but they do include this paper template if you want to use it. Here's an up-close look at the hardware that's included. You have screws, tile anchors, and drywall anchors. For this application, I'll be using the screws and the tile anchors. If you will be using the paper template, double check that they put the correct one in and that the holes match up with the towel bar. A quick visual inspection of this will save you a lot of time and headache later. For this towel bar, the brackets came mounted already inside the towel bar, so we have to remove them. Find the set screw and use your Allen key to unscrew it until the brackets are released. Be careful to not drop it so you don't damage anything. Now that I have this unscrewed, I can easily remove the bracket from inside the bar. It's a tight fit, so you do have to have the angle just right, but once you get that, it will pull through pretty easily. I've already pre-selected a spot for my towel bar, but next I want to just hold it up here and mark down the centers so that I can easily find the place to put the brackets. Typically you want your towel bar 48 inches from finished floor, but in my case that would have put one of the screws right in the grout line. So I'm dropping it down to 46 inches on center so that my screws can be just above and just below that grout. Now that I've marked the center of my escutcheon, I'm going to put my bracket down here and get these holes dialed in. I'm going to put the center of this post right on the grout line so that the holes are evenly spaced both above and below it. For this Kohler towel bar, you can see there's quite a bit of flexibility with the top and bottom holes, so I would just eyeball this part as you'll be able to adjust it a little bit more later. You can see that my hole marks are in line with the center of the escutcheon, which is what I was wanting to have happen. You should now erase or cross out that escutcheon mark so that you don't confuse it for a drilling hole. I know I said you could just eyeball it, but I got out my level so that I could make sure everything was vertically aligned. This looks perfect, so I'm good to go. For this towel bar, it's a 24-inch center to center, so I'm going to mark 24 inches from the holes that I just marked so that I can get the other side location. Now that I've got the 24-inch mark, I'm going to put this bracket stem right in the middle of the grout and see how everything lines up. I actually got really lucky as this lined up perfectly. Now I can just mark my bottom hole and continue on. It is important to note that I already knew that my grout line was perfectly level, so double check yours if you're going to be going off of the grout line like I was. Now that I've got my holes marked, I am going to just double check with the level and make sure everything looks good before continuing on. Next, we're going to find the instructions and see what size of hole to drill in the tile. Luckily for me, this is a 1/4 inch, and I already had a 1/4 inch Diamond Max bit to do this. You will also need a spray bottle of water for the drilling process. I also recommend putting a towel down on the floor to catch all of the water and the tile slurry as it drips down. Getting the hole started in the tile is the hardest part of this whole process. You have to start at an angle and then slowly work the drill up until it's facing it straight on. So be sure to calculate exactly where the center of the hole needs to be and where your bit needs to start at an angle so that you end up drilling in the right spot. You can see I stopped multiple times to check that it's going in the right spot in case I need to make adjustments. It was just me for this one, but if you can have a second person spray water while you hold the drill with 2 hands, you will be much better off. I'm going to speed these clips up so that you don't have to watch at regular speed, since this can take a little time. As I mentioned earlier, since I don't do this a lot, I did stop multiple times to make sure the hole was looking okay. You can see here as it's starting to smoke that it really needed someone else spraying more water on it as I was drilling. There will be a distinct sound and feel when you finally break through the last bit of tile. Now that we're all the way through, we'll take a look at the hole, and it looks pretty good. So now I like to go to the other side instead of doing both holes on the same side. And now we just repeat the exact same process that we just did on the rest of the 3 locations. If you don't do this often, it'll be difficult to get this started. Just keep trying and it'll be fine. It's easy for it to slip off the hole though, so try to keep a steady hand. If it slips off, you could damage your tile. So before I get this hole too far in, I'm gonna go back to the other side and just double check that the dimensions are looking okay and matching up consistently. I measured from the top of the tile to the center of the hole. It appeared to be a near perfect match, so I continued on. However, as you will see later in this video, the drill must have strayed a little bit or something happened because it did not match up well. But more to come on that later. As you can see, that lower ridge is where that hole was supposed to be. It ended up getting too high. Now I'm going to go back over to the right side and put in the tile anchor. Then I just like to hold up the bracket and make sure the holes are still lining up before I drill my last one. And this part is probably overkill, but I take the bracket again and double check that my holes are still lining up. Okay, it was now time to drill the final hole on this left side, which made me nervous because I knew the bottom hole was not exactly correct. So doing this top one had to be perfect so that it would align and be level the top hole on the right side. I tried to be as precise as possible, calculating exactly where the bottom of that bit needed to be, so that by the time I got the drill up to the full onward position, it would be perfectly center. Now that all of my holes are drilled, we just need to put in the tile anchors. When you are installing these brackets, it's important to make sure that this indentation is aimed towards the floor for the set screw on the towel bar. If you get this reversed, it might still install, but won't go on as secure. This right side went on with no issue and is perfect. This left side, however, was not as perfect. As you can see, when I get this top screw in and go to check the screw spacing, you can see something moved pretty dramatically and is not going to be an ideal fit. Alright, so obviously this is not ideal, but we should be able to still get a screw angled in there to make a good connection and be snug. So it's obviously not pretty, but will be structurally sound and still hold the towel bar nice and securely. The discussion will cover the angled screw, so you won't even be able to tell that it's going in at an angle. Now that the brackets are in place, I'm going to put my level on here and make sure it looks good. It all looks perfect, so we're going to proceed. Now that everything's all tightened up, we're going to throw a level on here and just confirm that nothing else needs adjusted. It looks nice and level, so we're all set. Overall, this installation isn't too tough. It just takes some time to drill those 4 holes in the tile. Make sure to try your best to keep that drill bit on center of your hole marks and you won't have any issues. I hope this video helped you. Thanks for watching.